Formula One is back in Barcelona. And I say back because this is actually where the 2026 season began, where we got those very first pictures of these new cars coming out of the bushes, out of the woods in pre-season testing. Quite the way to kick off a new regulation era. But now we know these cars a whole lot better. There are no more secrets. Every team has a much clearer picture of where they are, where their rivals are, and what they need. And Barcelona is always one of those circuits where teams treat it as a proper upgrade destination. The track is demanding, high-speed corners, serious aerodynamic load, and it is hot. Cooling matters here. So while you'll get some circuit-specific tweaks, you'll also see some very significant packages from teams who have been saving something big for this one. Let's get into every team, starting with the ones who aren't bringing much and working our way up to the big ones. Aston Martin and Haas, not a lot to report here for Barcelona. Adrian Newey has already spoken about a very significant package coming before the summer break. New engine, new aero kit, all tied to the incoming ADO regulation update. That is when you should be watching Aston Martin. For now, if anything arrives in Barcelona, it'll be minor and it won't move the needle much. Fernando Alonso somehow keeps dragging points out of that car. The man is a marvel, but I genuinely don't see him scoring here with what they currently have. Haas have been making steady improvements, but they don't typically use Barcelona as a big upgrade event, and nothing significant has been announced. Moving on, Cadillac, same story, minor circuit-specific stuff at most for Spain. Their bigger upgrade package is being saved for Austria. Some teams are just targeting that race over this one, and Cadillac is firmly in that camp for now. Williams have confirmed some upgraded pieces are coming to Barcelona. What's been impressive about this team is that every single Grand Prix they are finding weight to remove from this car. Week by week it is looking better. Monaco was actually a bit of a shock. They were up in the points when the car honestly didn't look like it had any right to be there. The issue here is the circuit itself. Barcelona is a high-speed track, and if your car is still carrying too much weight, still a bit boat-like through those fast corners, it will chew through the tyres and you will suffer. Williams are still the weakest of the Mercedes-powered teams. They've been okay, quietly competitive at times, but Barcelona might expose the gap again. The upgrades will help, but they're not going to transform the picture overnight. Racing Bulls haven't announced a major upgrade package, but this could be the weekend where something arrives. What I will say is that this team has been doing an outstanding job with what they have. Monaco was brilliant. 5th and 6th for the team. Genuinely impressive. They've kept the same front wing configuration since the opening round, and it is working. You could see some suspension tweaks. Maybe some front wing configuration adjustments if conditions demand it. The cooling on the car has had a couple of evolutions already depending on temperature. And Barcelona in June is going to be hot. That'll be something to watch for them. Red Bull, similar to Cadillac, they are holding their biggest upgrade for Austria. That package is expected to take around 6 to 7 kilos off the car, which is a serious amount of weight to find. What they're working on right now is reliability. The balance of the car has genuinely improved, better than it looked early on, but the reliability has been a weakness that keeps hurting them. That engine though, it is flying. Best power unit on the grid right now in terms of raw output. They are constantly tweaking the front wing, the rear wing, bits of bodywork. Nothing dramatic, but it's being refined from race to race. They did start the season overweight and the car was very boat-like through the corners early on. The turn-in has improved a lot. Tyre warm-up is still something they're managing, but Barcelona being warmer should help take some of that pressure off. McLaren have confirmed this is the last race where they're continuing the package they started in Miami. And they've been building on it bit by bit ever since. I do expect more pieces coming to the floor specifically here in Barcelona. The car is well balanced. In the low-speed stuff it has been okay. The problem for McLaren has never really been the aero balance, it's been reliability. on a super hot circuit like this one, just keeping the car alive becomes the challenge. Where they are noticeably weaker is straight line speed. The Mercedes power unit is simply ahead of them in that department right now, and Barcelona, with its long main straight and fast sweeping sections, is going to put that gap under a microscope. This is a real test for the Papaya team, and how they manage the reliability in the heat will determine whether they're fighting for the win or just surviving to the finish. Audi are expected to bring a pretty significant package here. They've already revised the engine cover and the roll hoop area. Take a look at that inlet. It's been done completely differently. The chassis part of the car has actually been doing solid work. The engine is the problem, and Barcelona is one of the worst possible circuits for that. It demands an enormous amount from the power unit in terms of sustained high speed, load and cooling. Their starts have also been poor, and this is a high load circuit from the very first corner. They could piece together a result if everything clicks. But reliability has to improve alongside the aero if they're going to become a consistent, points-scoring team. This weekend will tell us a lot about how far they've actually come. Alpine have identified Barcelona as the circuit where they want to put it all together. The car currently has an understeer problem in the high-speed corners specifically. It's fine in the low-speed stuff, but it falls away when the speeds climb. Pierre Gasly should have been on the podium in Monaco. That's how close this team is to the next level. What's coming here is a brand new front wing. End plates, flow conditioners, they've been working on the floor geometry throughout the season, but the front wing is the piece that controls the flow from the front of the car to the back. It's the most critical piece in this regulation era, and they've been holding this one for Barcelona. There should also be some bodywork tweaks alongside it. Nothing massive there, but the front wing alone is a significant step for a car that has been specifically struggling in that area. Both drivers have done a genuinely good job of extracting everything this car has to offer. Now they need the car to give them a bit more. And the team with the biggest upgrade of the whole field, the one that is counting on Barcelona more than anyone, is Ferrari. There's been a lot of reports circulating about what's coming, and we have a pretty solid picture. Just like Alpine, it's a full front wing evolution. Hamilton has actually spoken publicly about how the Ferrari's front wing is different from what other teams are running. And here they're going to change that. The focus is improving the overall flow across the car, managing the wheel wake better, redistributing the load more cleanly, revised end plates and outboard tip details better local balance. That's exactly what you want from a front wing revision, and if they get it right, this could add several tenths to their performance in both qualifying and the race. Will it put them above Mercedes? Probably not quite, but they are not far off, and there is a significant engine upgrade coming soon that could change the conversation entirely. Alongside the front wing, there should be bodywork evolution, and the rear of the car continues to be a real strength. The floor revisions and the FTM exhaust development have been exceptional to watch from race to race. It's frustrating that this rear concept won't carry into 2027 when the regulations change again. But right now, for this championship fight, Ferrari are pushing everything they have, and specifically for Leclerc. He is getting new brakes here. He has been vocal about brake problems since Canada, since Monaco, honestly since the start of the season. He'll now be running the same Brembo spec as Hamilton, who switched to them back in Japan and has looked a step ahead of Leclerc in that department since. Whether the brake issue has been a mental block or a genuine hardware problem, probably a bit of both, a new spec should restore some confidence. Leclerc was genuinely contending for race wins earlier in the year. After this upgrade, combined with what's coming on the engine side, I think we'll see him back in that fight. Barcelona is always that circuit where teams take stock. There's so much data here. Teams have tested on this track more than anywhere else. And considering the 2026 season literally started here in pre-season testing, every team is going to be measuring exactly how far they've come from those first laps in the cold back in February to where they are now. The upgrades are coming. Some teams are saving their best for Austria. But the teams to watch this weekend: Ferrari and Alpine with their front wing packages, McLaren managing the heat, and whether George Russell can use this aero-dependent circuit to get his title challenge back on track. Part 2 of this series will be up on Thursday with the actual images from Barcelona once we see the cars in the garage. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. We'll see you then.